Good day, everyone. This is Mark Kevin of Corvera, and now I will discuss my topic about motor development. A child personality has several components: temperament, environment, and character. Most psychologists agree that these two factors, temperament and environment, influence the development of a personality the most. Okay, motor development. The human fetus develops within the mother's body according to a fairly fixed time schedule. Motor development after birth, such as using of hands and fingers, standing and walking, it follows a regular sequence. The influence of motor development is less on the environment, but it is more of maturational process. You walk before you run, and stand before you walk. All children go through the same stages in the same order. However, there are some times that it might speed up or slow down. It only depends on the children's growth, but the order of development is the same with all the children.
Now let's have intellectual development. In language ability and intellectual skills and emotional development, fields of early deprivation appear to be more lasting. Children whose learning opportunities are restricted during the first 2 or 3 years of life are seriously behind in language and intellectual skills. This is an example of the influence of environment on development. The Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget made the most intensive study of children's cognitive development. He came up with a series of distinct stages as children mature. The first 2 years is the sensory motor stage. During this period, infants are busy discovering the relationships between their actions and the consequences of these actions. They learn to grasp and to push. They learn that their hand is a part of their body and that the table is not. Between 2 to 7 years is the pre-operational stage, and at this age, the children learns to use language to represent objects by using words. Thinking is concentrated on the self of the child and is not capable of taking the viewpoint of others. Between the ages of 7 and 12 is called the concrete operational stage. By now, the child thinks logically about objects and events, and the child is able to classify objects according to several features and can order them in some way like its size, color, etc. The formal operational stage is about 12 years and up. The child now thinks logically and becomes concerned with the hypothetical, the future, and ideological problems. Transition between stages of intellectual growth is gradual, involving a consolidation of earlier skills and becomes automatic little by little. The poor performance of the younger children may be due to the limited memory capability. This capacity increases as they mature physically. It seems, however, that what is perfected are the Venus strategies in improving memory.
Adam Masfera, in his book Personality Development in Publications, defined intelligent behavior as the general capacity of the individual to think reasonably and to act with good judgment. It has 5 factors. Number 1, the capacity to learn is determined by heredity and environment, with heredity imposing the broad limits and environment developing those limits. Number 2, capacity for abstract thinking is the capacity to think in terms of concepts. A secretary deals with filing, tabulating, shorthand symbols, and the like. Number 3, mental alertness is quickness of observation, understanding, and reaction. The ability to be alert to what is going on around you and being sensitive to the environment make one quick to recognize a problem. Analyze whose ethnic, social, and religious background match their own. Much debate centers on whether happy marriages are based on similarity or opposite, and think of steps to solve it. Number 4, sound judgment is a result of wisdom, common sense, and does not allow himself to fall into hasty generalizations, bias, and prejudice. Lastly, general adaptability is all-around ability to fit successfully into a variety of situations. The person is ready to meet the challenges that come his way. Your ability to adapt to the complicated world of people and things measures this characteristic of mature persons.
Development as a lifelong process.
Development does not end with the attainment of physical maturity. It is a continuous process extending from birth to adulthood to old age. Erik Erikson, a noted psychologist, calls them psychosocial stages. They range from the first year of life, second year, third through fifth years.
Sixth year to puberty, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and the aging years. During the first year, the child's feeling of trust in other people is largely dependent on his relationship with his mother.
In the preschool years, children progress from a simple self-control to an ability to initiate activities and carry them out. Children learn the skills valued by society, such as reading and writing, the ability to share responsibility, and get along with other people. Finding one's personal identity is the major psychosocial crisis of teenagers.
During the early adult years, people commit themselves to an occupation and many will form other types of intimate relationship. They are able to care about others and share experiences with them. They tend to marry at this stage and look for the marriage partners. Of this occurs with the realization that you have not achieved the goals you set as a young adult or that what you are.
At age 50, people start thinking of years left to live. Their life is restructured in terms of priorities, deciding what is important to do in the remaining years. The aging years beginning age 65 bring new problems. Declining physical strength limits the person's activities. Retirement lessens feelings of worth and self-esteem. Retirement village and homes actively involve older people in community life. Old age is a time of reflection, of looking back to the events of a lifetime.
The satisfactory relationships are based on the following elements. Number 1. Mutual respect for each other. Number 2. Tolerance and the ability to accept one another's shortcomings. And number 3 is the ability to agree on common goals and work toward them.
Ages 40 to 65 are called the years of middle adulthood. These years constitute the most productive period. Men in their 40s are usually at the peak of their careers.
Women have less responsibility at home since at this point the children have grown up, and they can devote more time to career or civic activities. A concern of people in this age is to provide for the next generation, helping your teenage become adults, providing for others who need help, and so on.